Welcome back to America Decides. Good to have you with us. The head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency testified before the House Oversight Committee today about the response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton and the future of funding for the agency, which, to put it mildly, is strapped for cash right now. At least one FEMA employee, this is worth noting, was fired earlier this month after that worker was accused of denying aid to homes with Trump lawn signs. On the Hill, Administrator Deanne Criswell discussed it.
My senior leadership team provided me with this visual evidence that the employee had, in fact, issued these instructions, and they recommended that this employee be terminated, and I concurred and directed the termination of this employee. I released a statement that day, and I will repeat what I said to all of my employees and the American people. This type of behavior and action will not be tolerated.
CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins me now. Scott, it's great to see you as always. The most important part of our conversation is where is funding for FEMA? How much is requested? What is Congress's current disposition toward that?
It's a mess right now, but to be clear about that clip we just played, about the FEMA administrator being asked several times in several different ways about that rogue employee, it felt like a proxy battle over something quite different. What Republicans tried to do today, and they laced their opening statements with the argument, is try to make a case that the federal government has too many people who are, in their words, unaccountable, who aren't directly reporting to the president, and that they may need to change that in a Trump administration. We all have heard the Trump administration is going to be keen on shaking up how Washington works, including the civil service, including how federal agencies function. And this felt like just the foreshadowing of an argument that's to come in January, that maybe we need to change how things like FEMA function from soup to nuts, from top to bottom. We'll put that aside and talk about the money, because FEMA is short on cash.
That this one employee could be representative of an entire problem that must be wrestled to the ground.
That it justifies wrestling that problem to the ground, and not just at FEMA. I mean, you could just feel the fingerprints of the Trump loyalists and the Trump soon-to-be administration on this congressional hearing today, that he wanted to talk about the bigger macro issue, about money. FEMA is running short on money. The Small Business Administration, which provides the loans to homeowners and businesses who are in the hurricane zone, is flat out of money in its loan program. All these other agencies are stretched by not just hurricanes, but by wildfires, by tornadoes, by the other things that have happened in the past few months. There'll be a hearing tomorrow in the U.S. Senate Appropriations Committee about getting some money out the door soon to deal with a problem that should have been dealt with in September and October. The hearing will not culminate with a new bill tomorrow. It'll still take weeks to put pen to paper. It may take until December 20th to pass this legislation. And one senator from North Carolina, Ted Budd, explained why that may be just a little too late.
We want it done yesterday, and we're going to keep pushing it with urgency to make sure that dollar comes quick, those dollars come quickly, and they get spent in the right way.
Might this have to wait till December 20th?
We sure hope not, but again, we're going to be pushing it, use my relationships in the U.S. House and here in the Senate to make sure we're clearing through all obstacles and objections, and we get it to Western North Carolina as quickly as possible.
And Major, here's the bottom line. This disaster funding problem, this shortfall, was a problem in October. Congress decided to punt this until after the election, which they've done, and now they're slow out of the gates, and that's bothering people.
And December 20th is relevant. Why?
That's the deadline for the next government shutdown. It's the deadline for when Congress has to pass new funding for the government itself. They think that's the only bill that'll get out of Washington that this disaster money can hitch a ride to. Otherwise, you're at a stalemate on most other things.
So either you roll this money up into that, or it waits until the next Congress and an uncertain future, to put it mildly.
That's right. And what's more, the Republicans may want to punt deeper into next year, the next time they have to deal with this, because they want to give President-elect Trump some runway to do other things and not get mired in this mess right off the bat.
Scott MacFarlane, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.